Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Barb Bacon, and I'm a community advocate here in South Charlotte. If I had my buttons on today, it would be, let's get some gun control. I'm tired of looking at the news and seeing this. Black Lives Matter in honor of our friend Joel. And let's have equal rights for everybody.
Hello, this is Jenny-Jaymes Gunn. I am a community advocate here in Charlotte, North Carolina for LGBT women's rights with the National Organization for Women, gun sense laws with Moms and Men Action, and anything that extends equity to all. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Christian Cano. You're the co-host. My buttons are Moms and Men Action, gun sense legislation, healthcare for all, Medicare for all, and also in my heart, Black Lives Matter on behalf of Joe Oldham, who's a guest of ours who passed away last year. That's it.
Good morning, everybody. This is the Coffee and Pan Dulce. Almost said the other show's name.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that.
It almost rolled out of my mouth. This is second nature, but it is October 16th. We are at the midway point of October already. If you can believe it, it is spooky season. One of my favorite months of the year, and one of my favorite holidays, which is Halloween. All Hallowed Eve. It's also election season and voting. Lot going on. We got foosball. We got all kinds of things going on. But I did want to, again, and we're going to probably do a commercial on this too. It is voting season. And this is the time, if you made an action plan to verify your registration or get registered, this is the time that you can do early voting and beat the rush. Don't wait till last minute. Don't put yourself in a bind. And if you got friends that are registered to vote, take them to the polls too. Have a little voting party, but vote early. Don't vote often. It's illegal. But sure, do yourself a favor. Beat the line. Beat the rush. Whether you do mail-in balloting or early voting, it's the smartest way to go. I early vote every year because it's so much easier. And you'll thank me later. But anyway, we'll jump back into the show, and if you can take it away, Christian.
Yeah, as Jenny said, good morning, everyone. This is Coffee and Pan Dulce. When you see this drops on October 16th. Once again, it's hard to believe. We're in the middle of October. Jenny's favorite time of year, pumpkin spice time of year. That's her name. If she was a Spice Girl, she'd be Pumpkin Spice. Yep. We want to thank everyone who joins us on Facebook, but also those who watch us on YouTube, and the thousands who listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platform. I'm Christian Cano, Jenny Gunn, and of course, Barb Bacon's been on a hiatus pretty much all year. But this is, for those who watch us and listen to us, we thank you so much. It means a lot to us. I want to give Jenny a huge shout out. Jenny helped us break a story. When you watch this, it would have been broken for a while. We broke a story before anyone else in America. About Matt Bush. Yeah, and we'll be talking about that, not on this show, but on another kind of special show. Thank Jenny for helping us break that show. She played a large part in doing that. So today our topic is clickbait show. It is going to be how the GOP allowed crazy MAGA women to become their poster child of family values. Those who've been watching politics for a long time know the Republicans have always been they've always called themselves the party of family values, even though, we can always debate that they really aren't. Now the face has become, the crazy women are their face, from Moms for Liberty people who have three-ways and search for section, stuff like that, to Boebert, alleged sex worker Boebert, to swinger MTG, to all the crazy MAGA women. They're now the face of the Family Values Party. So we'll be talking about that very, very briefly. But before we do, let's jump directly into Barb's current events.
And this is Barb's current events.
Okay, Jen, I got 3 for you. Tell us what you think about these. It looks like, I'm just going to go real quickly on these. The crimes that former President Trump has have been accused of, nearly half of the people convicted of these same crimes as Donald Trump are sent to prison. So Trump should be looking at a 50% chance of going to prison. They've been looking at the crimes that he's committed, and not just he's committed, he's been found guilty of. 50% of those people go to prison, 50% get probation. So it's be interesting to hear your take on what happens with him. Forbes magazine has ranked, and it's almost like Forbes watches our show. Forbes magazine has ranked Texas one of the worst states to live in, specifically for property insurance and access to health care. So Texas, once again, is one of the worst states in America. And then the last one is in the state of Florida, and I'm in that undisclosed location still. In the state of Florida, there have been gas shortages over the last couple of weeks. And in all fairness, because they had Hurricane Helene and then Hurricane Milton, when you watch this, Hurricane Milton would have hit, and I'm sure it's going to be even more dangerous or disastrous. But there's been gas shortages. So it makes you wonder, why didn't they prepare in advance? And I'm only saying that because Jenny and I had this conversation before her show that we taped that one. The MAGA movement and Trump, they have really tried to spend a lot of conspiracy theories and so forth about FEMA and the recovery. So it's interesting that, anyway, I don't want to say that we should spread conspiracies because I'm not a conspiracy person, but what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. Yeah, exactly. So, Jenny, I want to hear your thoughts on those 3.
But I've heard there is a rumor that has it that it's Jewish space lasers that keep the gas shortage going. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
I don't eat lead paint chips like MTG does, or have sex with Bigfoot like Matt Gaetz does. But anyway, I've heard that allegedly that JD Vance is, he likes to wear frilly things and sing show tunes, but I've heard that. That he likes hanging out with the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. But just a rumor, y'all. But yeah, these crazy, because we're hearing this in North Carolina because of the insane amount of damage because of Hurricane Helene in Western North Carolina, specifically in the Asheville area. Asheville's literally not there. It's gone for all intents and purposes. Asheville a decent sized city got wiped off the map. And when I say gone, I mean those sewage and water plants are all shut down and broken. They have to be rebuilt. The insane amount of flooding and damage that came from this, the traffic from the interstate system is completely being, a third of North Carolina's highways that go through that part of the state, or a third of the total highways that go through that part of the state, have to be rerouted through Charlotte. Our traffic is picked up like 40%. I can just tell you, it's a noticeable difference, and they've put a lot of warnings out. And in this situation, this isn't going to be a quick fix, y'all. And the GOP's done the opposite. They went on one of their hiatuses instead of, and they could have approved more FEMA money.
Exactly. They could have come back too. Yeah.
And instead of helping, like, once again, just like the budget, just like everything else, just like, the border bill that they killed in the last winter, they had a solution. Everybody agreed. The Border Patrol endorsed it. All the experts that for immigration endorsed it. And Donald Trump used his influence over the Speaker of the House, and they killed their own bipartisan border bill. Y'all, these are people, they ain't right in the head. They don't send their best and brightest to Washington anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just the Republicans, the mouth breathers. They want the jobs, but they don't want to do the work. We used to call them leeches on society, and they are definitely leeches and absolutely useless. I don't even remember what the other two topics were.
The other two were the Texas being ranked worst by Forbes magazine to live in, and then Trump and what he's been already convicted of. If the data was if the data held up with him, he has a 50% chance of going to prison.
Yeah, I mean, he should be in prison. It should be Trump for prison. There's been no reason why he should have been able to run for presidency. This guy has pending charges that's going to happen because of January 6th. There is no reason a person that tried to stop democracy should be running for the same office. Ever. We're the laughing stock of the world. When we preach one thing and we do another, it's called hypocrisy. And it's one of those things. It's just like we brought up in the other show. Where are all the mega churches in Florida and North Carolina? They're conspicuously quiet, just like they were when the big hurricane hit Houston the last time. Old Mr. Olstein, he would not open up his church, that huge stadium-sized church. Like, his church is so big it looks like a basketball arena because it's the size of a basketball arena in downtown Houston. He pledged no resources, 0.0 that time, when there was people literally homeless because of the hurricane. These people, we have the Billy Graham organization here in North Carolina, where probably a lot of the people that work for that church and get educated by that church have family in Asheville or from Asheville themselves, Western North Carolina. Where are they? They are so quiet about those. They should be loading up every resource they have and aiming their little vans and helicopters to the west. And they ain't. They haven't lifted a finger that I've seen, and they should be leading the charge. It shouldn't be just the government, even though the government should be doing this. We should be paying for our own citizens. And this is the one time where I'm going to talk about America first.
Sure.
This is one of the roles of the federal government, is to pay for this. But Republicans seem to have forgotten that part of that's approving budgets and increasing the budget when necessary in emergency times.
Yeah.
That is the whole point why we have a full-time Congress. It's not to get sound bites and do fundraising, y'all. There's a time and a place for this. And even Reagan rallied people for bipartisanship when needed. Even Ronnie Reagan. George Herbert Walker Bush passed an asylum law and created asylum policy in 1990 that still holds true today. Some of these issues, most of our issues ain't Republican or Democrat issues. They're just challenges our society needs to meet. And we've allowed climate control to get out of control. Now we're having these super hurricanes. We need to be proactive. And we've had warnings of these hurricanes. We've had days to prepare for Milton. Why are we not loading up a bunch of Greyhound buses? My roommate, we talked about this yesterday, in fact. And we were with all the resources and transportation tools we have, why don't we have a proactive policy of paying for rides for people that can't afford to, and housing for people to get people out of the greater Tampa area? These hurricanes aren't like tornadoes, like where they pop up and blow up a trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we proactive instead of spreading conspiracy theories? On to taxes. No shocker.
Yeah.
West Afghanistan is, it's our birth state, our old home state, because Christian and I are both from Texas. Once again, is an embarrassment under Republican rule. We can't state this enough.
Yeah.
Texas used to be a pretty amazing state. I'll be honest. Like, since the 30 years of Republican rule, they've just ran it into the ground and turned it into.
It's sad. Yeah,
it's heartbreaking. Personally,
it could. There's still spots of proudness, so to speak. But overall, the state, it's sad how they have really handicapped the state and made it into it could have been, and it still probably still can if it changes hands. It could be a really great state where,
in the last 10 years too, they've always been in the bottom quintile
of all of the
funding measurements for schools.
Yeah,
and it's highest wealth state.
It's lowest on education, poverty, obesity. Our highest in obesity. There's so many measurements that makes it such. It's amazing to look at that state and go, I can't believe they do so bad, and they boast so much. So they're almost, Texas is living off of the image of the past. And so, hey, listen, we're up against our first break, and when we come back, we'll talk very briefly about our topic. So we'll be right back on Coffee and Pan Dulce right after this.
Hey, y'all, thanks for watching the Florida shows. They've been wildly successful. Obviously, it's a topic that you guys have enjoyed and wanted to know more of. And we like talking about the dumpster fire that used to be the state of Florida. And we'll probably talk about it some more this summer. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching.
Hey, y'all, thanks for watching. And support local Black and brown businesses, including our sponsor, Manolo Bakery. It has some fabulous pastries, food, king cakes, all kinds of specialty cakes, swallows, and much, much more. Some of the best food you eat in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, Manolo's Bakery, right here in East Charlotte. Thanks for watching. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching the Florida shows. They've been wildly successful. Obviously, it's a topic that you guys have enjoyed and wanted to know more of. And we like talking about the dumpster fire that used to be the state of Florida. And we'll probably talk about it some more this summer. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching our Coffee and Pan Dulce show every week. Don't forget, you can watch us visually on our video podcast platforms on Facebook and YouTube, but you can also listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all of the other ones that your favorite, whatever your favorite is. Once again, thank you for watching us on Coffee and Pan Dulce. We'll dance out.
So we have a great fall lineup, and we encourage you to tune in to many of our fabulous shows, like our Say show, and many more things in October and November as well. Thanks for watching, as always, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all. Welcome back, everyone. So today's topic: how GOP allowed crazy MAGA women to become their poster child of family values. That's a mouthful there. So I just found it interesting. Those of us who have been following politics for a while are engaged in what's going on. Jenny and I grew up at a time where the Republican Party used to brand themselves as the party of family values, even though we know there was a lot of hypocrisy. Now that the MAGA movement has taken up, the MAGA cult has taken over the Republican Party. They still want to try to keep on to that brand, but yet the faces of that brand are, as we mentioned before, MTG, the swinger, divorced woman, crazy woman, Laura Boebert, the alleged sex worker who's divorced, whose family is all up in really trailer trash. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but they're considered Yeah, they're not considered the cream of the crop of intelligence. And then you have, that's the face of family values. The Moms for Liberty, women. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's their face. Allegedly, she had her husband go to bars to pick up women to have three-ways with, and that's their face. So I just find it so hypocritical that MAGA movement.
But I always found it interesting, especially with the founder and president of Moms for Liberty, the lady in Florida that won. Her husband's the state chairman of the Republican Party, where he was, and he's been found guilty of sexual assault there in Florida, and she's a lesbian. Mm-hmm. She's a bisexual lesbian and having sex with the girls, and I guess he watched or whatever. And this is the same group that targeted LGBT kids and LGBT education and LGBT teachers over and over again. They're the same ones that do the book burnings. They're the same ones that time and time again have attacked schools about drag queen story hours and on to ad nauseum, and has caused riots at school board meetings and threatened people, and there's been bomb threats all because of these jackasses. And their founder is a bisexual lesbian. Mm-hmm. Her husband is a rapist. Family values my ass. Like, if that's family values, maybe I don't understand. Maybe their families are different than ours.
Yep.
Rumor has it, I mean, ever since I heard that rumor that Matt Gaetz had an affair with Bigfoot, it's all downhill from there. And MTG had it with aliens.
And Sophia Loren with the sofa, allegedly.
Sure. Allegedly. But it's just gotten. You look at people like MTG and Boebert, the MAGA female face of the party, or MTG's not so much female looking, but
I was going to say that also. I was going to jump in there and say that, but I didn't want to. I'm glad you said it.
You should say it would sound misogynist coming from you, but I can say it because I'm a woman.
Exactly.
And MTG is way more masculine than me, and I'm a trans woman. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
She's a butch.
Like that jawline.
That's right. That's right.
And I think also too that bulge around her waistline. There's
I think she needs to. I think she needs to do a DNA test before she.
But just the kookery that goes with the MAGA movement, and the women are no exception. Like, they're not even they don't even have reasonable women. And that's why you look at some of the Republican women that have left the Republican Party, and you see the Liz Cheneys going, they're campaigning and endorsing Harris because they're going, the Republican Party left me. I didn't leave the Republican Party. Yeah. And you see Dick Cheney for the first time in his 7-8 decades of living openly endorsing Harris for president, a Democrat. When would we ever believe the evil emperor himself, Dick Cheney, would ever endorse a Democrat? There is a GOP Wisconsin, former GOP chairman, county chairman in Wisconsin that I saw a reel on Instagram, and he said, not only am I endorsing Harris, but I also work on our campaign team.
Wow.
And he was a white male. And he said, and the reporter said, if somebody asked you 10 years ago that you'd be working on a Democrat for president political deal, he said, I'd have told them to get out of my face if they're crazy. And he said, and he point blank said, the Republican Party has failed Americans. This is not about Republicans versus Democrats. This is us sustaining our country and making common sense decisions. And these Republican women just don't make any sense.
Exactly. Yeah. These are the I know I'm preaching to the choir. If you're watching or listening to us, you understand what our views. And we, in all fairness, Jenny and I generally, all the years we've been doing this show, we've tried to look at things from a very balanced perspective. I know Jenny tries to look at things also from their point of view. She tries to reach out to people who may not align with her, and I do as well. And we've tried really hard to give the other side, so to speak, grace and the benefit of the doubt. But you have to understand, we have seen through the Trump era craziness, hypocrisy, hatred. And there comes a point where you have to just stop. You have to start calling it out. And I think that's the level we're at, especially we've been this way all year long. If you've been watching our shows, we're tired of I can't speak for Jenny. I'll let her speak for herself. But we're at a point where I think we all part of the problem because we didn't call it out when it needed to be called out. And I know Jenny and I have maybe gone back and forth on some issues, but one of the things that I understand what she said is she has been calling this out and been consistent since the beginning. And she's been very concerned that people like myself and maybe moderate people and conservative people, they've been going, oh, it won't get that bad. Oh, it won't get that bad. Oh, that's never going to happen. And then it happened. And so I appreciate Jenny's continueness of doing that.
Yeah.
And I apologize for coming a little bit later to the game.
It's okay.
But I will say that I think we're at a point, Jenny, as you have been saying, that I don't know. I don't know if it's frustration, if it's what are your thoughts before we go to our last break?
Well, first of all, I always say better late than pregnant. Second of all, I think America is feeling that way too. I think once we saw the defeat of Roe, I think once we saw the pushback even against IVF, like who's against IVF? IVF actually creates lives and creates families for people. Even though I kind of know why Republicans are against it, it also helps LGBT families. They can't traditionally conceive, still have babies. And so I think it's really more anti-LGBT pushback rather than being worried about, the alternative ways of getting people pregnant. But I'm shocked at how long people tolerated and enabled this, but it's kind of an American thing. We're a very forgiving people. We're a very tolerant people until we're not.
Yes.
I think the switch is flipped in 23 and 24 when the reality set in, when you had families where you had a sister-in-law or a niece or something get insanely sick or pass away because of a pregnancy gone wrong. Or had your 16-year-old niece get sexually assaulted and impregnated, and they couldn't do anything about it. They were forced to carry, there was 29,000 forced birthings in Texas as a result of sexual assault in Texas. Last year alone, 29,000 women in Texas were forced to give birth in the state of Texas and carry a rapist baby to term. Just let that soak in.
Yeah.
Tell me how that equates to freedom. Just let me know how forcing women to carry a rapist baby, a rapist fetus to term and give birth to, and pregnancy is a high risk thing. Just so people know, especially as our male viewers out there, just so you know, if you don't know, pregnancy changes a woman's body in so many different ways. It pushes their organs around, the hormones, all the diabetes that you can get, gestational diabetes. It is a dangerous proposition at best. And the emotional distress, the career stress, there's so many things that come from it. But these Republican extremists, including Republican wacko women, that vote against their own, punching themselves literally in the face by watching Roe get taken away. It took it away for them too. especially in red states. That Republican women, to me, that's mind-boggling. They would take away their own body autonomy and be okay with it.
It's it's going to be. I think sociologists and psychologists and historians are going to look at this MAGA era in amazement, and hopefully we will look at it like, God, that was crazy times and crazy days, and we lived through it, and so it'd be interesting. Yeah, exactly. So, listen, if you like what you hear from Jenny, she does have a show that comes on every Wednesday at 11:30. It's called Two Queers in a Truck, and this last commercial will talk about that one, and we'll be right back on Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching Coffee and Pan Dulce, but I wanted to talk about something personal. I have started a company with a business partner of mine called Java Notes Records, and we have an Instagram page, and in our biography, or as the cool kids call it, the bio, we have a link to our Indiegogo page. If you go onto our Instagram or our Facebook, we have a campaign going for our Indiegogo, and it's helping us start this company that's going to help so many people between employment, charitable events, things of that nature. We're really doing this for our local community and really trying to help others and create a job for me too. But if you would go to our Instagram page for Java, like JAVA Notes Records, and I would appreciate the support. Thanks for listening.
All right, bye, y'all. So Instagram and Facebook, Java Notes
Records.
Right, got it. Java Notes Records. All right, thank y'all.
Up next is Two Queers in a Truck with Jenny and Christian. And hope you guys tune in. We'll see you in about 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you. Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. Please join Jenny's show every Wednesday at 11:30. And I apologize. I want to apologize. We've been having some challenges, her show on Apple. We're trying to get that fixed. If you do listen to your podcast on Apple Music, it'll be coming soon. I apologize. You can currently watch her show on on Facebook and YouTube, but also on the other podcast platforms like Spotify, Amazon, all those other ones. But we want to make sure it gets on Apple, and I apologize. There's been some technical difficulties. It'll be on very soon. All right, so here is the Pendejo Chronicles.
And this is the Pendejo Chronicles.
All right. The Pendejo of the week is Sissy SpaceX. I stole that one from Jenny, if you have to watch her show on that one. Sissy SpaceX knowingly spread FEMA rumors on his personal social media bathroom wall. That's really what it is. He bought X so he could write nasty stuff on the bathroom wall. He's that guy, that brings the marker to write stuff. So he's been spreading rumors about FEMA, about how the money's going to migrants and all this kind of stuff, which is not true. And it's been making it very challenging for the recovery from the last hurricane. And then, of course, as you watch this, Milton would have gone through, and I'm sure that's going to be even more disastrous. So, Jenny, you have any comments on Sissy SpaceX other than what you've said on your show? I know you're a big fan of Sissy SpaceX.
Well, I do agree that we have an immigration problem, and when we start deportations, we need to start with him. And it's a one-way trip back to South Africa.
Sure. Yeah.
And you talk about somebody that should be illegal. I mean, his own daughter doesn't like him. Look, all of his kids don't really like him. He's a creep. He's in the same grifter con artist mold as Trump. He's a terrible businessman. He's run Tesla into the ground. He's run Twitter into the ground. But we call Musk Sissy SpaceX or Apartheid Clyde. There is several bloggers on Twitter that coined those phrases. I did not create those nicknames for him.
Yeah, I like that one.
But Sissy SpaceX, especially when he wears that cowboy hat, and it's like, way too big for him. And you can always tell, because Texans can tell when people not from Texans kind of look more Texan.
Yeah, exactly.
And because Christian's my co-host on here, he wears a cowboy hat, but he wears ones that are appropriate for his frame that look good on him. He looks very good in a cowboy hat. He's a Tejano. He knows how to style them. He knows where to buy them from. But when you see Musk, Sissy SpaceX wearing a cowboy hat, and he was by the southern border, he had this weird looking sombrero looking one.
Yeah.
And it looked like, the old Looney Tune cartoons? He looked like a character from the Looney Tunes. He absolutely, not only did it look bad on him, but he looked like somebody trying to cosplay a Texan with his little sissy South African accent.
Yeah.
And you just went and seeing him prance around the southern border for that photo op, and you just go, there's something wrong with this dude.
You know what I really would like to see, Jenny? I know we got to end the show here, but I really would like to see South Park or that actually is still in production, believe it or not.
Yep.
Or even The Simpsons or Family Guy or someone do a parody and have a character of Sissy SpaceX.
Yes.
You've made it in American history when you're like a cartoon character on one of those shows.
Oh,
South Park does episodes, about Scientology and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
And I'm surprised they haven't done one about Elon Musk. I think he has become such a negative character, and he has damaged his brand so much that I predict moving forward, and it's probably started already, moving forward, just as the Republicans use George Soros and Pelosi in their ads just to make it sound like this is an evil person. Moving forward, Democrats will now say this is a Elon Musk endorsed candidate and our Koch brother candidate, because he's become his brand has become so negative that I do believe it's beneficial to he's this out of control billionaire who believes that rules don't apply to him. And as you mentioned, he's kind of a hypocrite because his whole fortune has been on socialism, on government funds.
Yeah.
And so, anywho, that's just kind of my 2
Tesla
cents.
would not turn a profit without some sweet socialism dollars. And he literally makes it off the green credits because of things like the Green New Deal and Build Back Better and things of that nature. He literally makes profits not off the selling of cars, but carbon credits. His SpaceX program, which is why we derived the name Sissy SpaceX on him, and of course the famous actress Sissy Spacek.
Sure.
And it just, you combine it together and you get Elon Musk, Sissy SpaceX. But he literally, it's all about government funding.
Sure.
And things like this. This guy literally lives off the socialistic teat of the United States, and he's not even an American.
Exactly. Yeah, that's an excellent point. So listen, we've run out of time. We want to thank everyone for joining us. Hopefully our next show will be the politics show. We kind of moved it around due to a lot of things. And then hopefully we'll be talking about, as we have been, but officially talking about the 2024 election. Early voting will have been on by the time that show goes on, and it will be just right around the corner from the actual election. And then we will end the month with Voto 2024, Can America Stop the Stupid? That will be our last show before the election, and we'll talk about, can we actually stop this craziness? And so, Jenny, you have any comments on where you're going to be after this show drops, or anything you want to share?
Oh, just doing my thing and trying to help people have voter awareness and, give people information on early voting, and where I'll be. I'll meet you at the polls, and
that's right.
I will be doing early voting. The day I usually vote, the very first day of early voting, I usually go to one of the big arenas. We do early voting at usually either the basketball arena, or I do it at the South Park library, because there's literally no lines. You literally can walk up. It takes me longer to check in to actually vote. There's no lines. It's easy peasy. Mecklenburg County has done an unbelievable good job about organizing early voting in this county. Everybody has easy access. There's polling centers all over the county. It's easy, it's free, it's your right as an American citizen. And please, 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 I don't care how you vote, just vote. Just get your ass to the polls.
Excellent. 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 Well, listen, we'll see you next week. Thank you, Jen. We'll dance out. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching Coffee Pan Dulce this week. And again, I'm going to be a broken record. Get out and vote. We have early voting literally starting tomorrow in North Carolina and around the country here. This is your time to have your say and participate. It's easy, it's free, and it's part of being an American. And please do yourself a favor and give yourself an early holiday present or early Christmas present and get out there and vote. You'll thank me later. Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.
Next up, thanks for watching Coffee and Pan Dulce. Next up is Two Queers and a Truck. Stay tuned.
Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Sounds great.
You sounded like a telenova. I mean,
I'm trying to. All I have to say is go. Yes.
As a non-Spanish speaker.
Good job, Jen. All right, we don't have to talk. We just do like 4 minutes on this topic.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay, Jen, we're just going to go briefly into Pendejo Chronicles, and then we'll end because we only have 4 minutes.
Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.